Hi, welcome in everybody. Hope you're doing well. Mic check. Can you all hear me okay? Thank you for coming in. Rolling them in your hands is a good way of warming them up. Any other techniques for warming up your pens? You don't actually need to shake these. We're using a Sharpie today. It doesn't really matter. But welcome in, and thank you very much for joining. No Joff today. I think word must have got out that we're not having Joff in today. Joff's got a better offer doing something else. I think it's his family gig that he's got, so I can let him get away with that one. If anybody, I think Wisdom, you're in, and Wisdom's going to keep an eye on the chat today. So if anybody at any stage, if you get stuck on anything or if something doesn't really make any sense, then just put something in the chat. Or even jump on stage. I don't mind if you jump on stage with me. It's always a good bit of fun. And Wisdom will pick up those. I'm sure Crypto Girl, you're in as well. Yeah, Crypto Girl's in as well. So between the pair of them, they're our guys that look after the Discord and do an amazing job. So thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Welcome to Doodle on Discord. What we're going to do today is a quick doodle. It only takes about 30 minutes. We'll just knock out something really quick, really easy. Joff did say that if we get to 40 people in the room today, that he'll give away one of his beavers. So we'll see how that goes. Normally, towards the end of the session, it starts to build up a little bit. So let's just keep an eye on that. But if you know anybody that you think would like to, will enjoy kind of coming in, wants a chance to win a beaver, but mainly just wants to come and do a little bit of drawing with us, then tag them now. Now's the time to get them in. We'll get started in about 1 minute, I reckon. Just a reminder for anybody that's new to the Corp Dogs project, it's all about two kind of pillars for it. One is getting you creative, so things like this, where it's kind of teaching you to draw and inspiring you to draw through tutorials and things like that. The other thing is growing your art collection as well. So usually every week we kind of give away an NFT, and when the Corp Dogs project starts, we've got a big load of NFTs we want to give away when we launch that as well. So I'm not going to say too much on it because Joff will be watching this recording and he'll probably tell me off for saying a bit too much. Wiggs is in. Hi, Wiggs. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for joining in. Should we get started? Let's do it. Who else is in? Silenthax, thanks for joining. P Wine, RGN. I think RGN. I think that's Colleen. I might be wrong. I think it is. But thank you for joining. You've not had enough of me. If it is you, Colleen, then you've just done a session with me about an hour and a half ago, and you're straight back in for more. And that's always nice that people want to spend so much time. Nice one. I'm glad it's you, Colleen. It's nice that you're that into it that you want to spend 2 hours, an hour and a half, kind of sitting here drawing nonsense with me. Do appreciate it. Kaz is in. Biggie's in. Hi. Super Movian Crime has not only in, but he's also out as well. Meowie is in as well. And DeFi, thank you very much for joining. Right, let's get started, shall we? I'm going to change my camera. There it is. Look at that. That's really poorly positioned. Material-wise, all you're going to need for today's session is a sheet of paper. Oops. Let me trying to zoom out a bit. I zoomed out on the wrong camera. There we go. That's a bit better. Materials-wise, you're going to need a A4 sheet of paper or a letter-size sheet of paper. Big sheet of paper, like the size of my hand. Something you get out of a copier, out of a printer. Sorry, Colleen, I've just seen that you said you'd do more if I kept going. I'd love to do that. I like the idea of one day doing a 24-hour doodle marathon. In my head, I feel like I could do it. I could just sit and draw for 24 hours non-stop. In reality, I'd probably get into an hour and a half and be like, I'm fading here and not be able to do it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, back to this sheet of paper, scrap sheet of paper and a Sharpie and a fine liner, if you've got a fine liner. That's what I'm going to be using today. I'll probably use a 0.5. It doesn't really matter. In fact, I'm not going to use a 0.5. I'm going to use a 0.1. Just a little bit thinner. So yeah, fat pen, thin pen. That's always the magic combo for me. As long as you've got a fat pen, a thin pen, and a piece of paper, you're good to go. No pencils today. Pencils are for losers, so we're going to go straight in with our marker pens. What we're drawing? In the Corp Academy community, one of our drawing prompts is good enough to eat is the drawing prompt. And it's all about just getting people drawing like foods, or not necessarily foods, but stuff that you want to put in your mouth. So what I thought we'd draw today is a burger, but we'll just layer up that burger and we'll just draw one little section at a time. The good thing about this burger is that if you watch the replay back, you can put the burger in different orders. So as long as you've got the bun at the top, bun at the bottom, all the ingredients on the inside you can put in different orders. You can also multiply them up as well. So I'm going to show you how to do each layer of ingredients in there. So are we ready to get started? Shall we go and grab your Sharpie pen? Hey, Crypto Stew. Crypto Stew, if we get 40 people in the room today, Joff is going to give away a beef. I'm only telling you that because you're the most likely to win it, because that seems to be what you do every time you come in. Right, Sharpie in hand, let's go and draw the top part of the bun. With the top part of the bun, you want to go fairly big with it because we're going to stick a face in there as well. Obviously, we're not just going to draw a burger, it's going to have a bit of a face to it. Thank you. Wisdom's being a great mod already. Let's go and draw this bun then. So the bottom part of the bun is going to be kind of a small curve. Top part of the bun is going to be a bigger curve, if that makes any sense at all. So just like a small curve or a subtle curve going across like that first. And yeah, no worries if you've not got time to doodle, if you don't want to doodle, if you're just not up for it, no problem. I like to keep these sessions really quick and easy, so we'll only be doodling for like 20 minutes, half an hour at the very most. I appreciate everyone's busy, so I like to kind of just show people how easy and quick it is to draw something easy and quick. Talking of which, remind you about the 15-minute doodle challenge happening on Saturday as well, because that's an even quicker drawing. There'll be less talking in between lines. Everyone got that curve in? Let's go around the top. So this time we're going to go a little bit kind of bigger, something like that. So it's a bigger curve across the top. Let's go and double line that. So those of you that have been coming to these sessions a few times will know that I double line everything I do, and double lining isn't about making the line twice as thick, it's about making the line twice as wonky. Wonky lines are easier to draw, so therefore you enjoy your drawing a little bit more, and personally I think they look a lot better as well. So yeah, just going for like double wonky lines all the time. And then let's go and put some, what we're doing next, where's the instructions? Right, we're going to put some eyes in next. So with these eyes, you kind of, just two big circles, but maybe squeeze them in a bit, so they're ovals, and maybe rotate them a little bit as well. Hi, Jessica. Thank you for joining in. You've not missed too much, Jessica. We're drawing a burger. There's the top of the bun, and then we're going to put loads of fillings in underneath it. Obviously, we're going to put a face in there as well. Yeah, let's do it, shall we? The circles. Again, double line it. Just one in there. Let you see, it's just a circle squashed together, kind of curved in a little bit. Double line it. One on both sides. In between that, we'll put a like a blue cat style bean for a mouth, or I call it the happy sausage. So right in between there, let's draw a little happy sausage. It's called a happy sausage because it's sausage shape and it curls up at either side, so it looks like a smiling sausage. Fake bacon. I don't know what that means. Faken. Everybody got that in? Let's go and put in the back of the eye. So what we're going to do, in fact, I'll zoom in a little bit now. Not that I can zoom in much on here. There we go. What we're going to do, the back of the eyes. So these two eyes over here, let's do a little curve there. So you're kind of taking that outside curve that we've got in the eye there, just bringing it in a little bit. Same kind of thing on the other side, look. Taking that outside curve, bringing it in a little bit. But then what we'll do as well is we'll put in some eyeballs down the bottom here. A little bit of an eyeball. One there, one there. Why shouldn't the eyeball have a bun in it? Thanks, Wisdom, for reminding me to press record. I can confirm that I did press record. Don't panic, everybody, if you're in the chat or if anybody comes up on stage or anything like that. I don't think you guys get recorded. I can't promise anything, but I don't think you do. Whack in those eyeballs, the back of these eyes. Look, just colour those bits in black. And we're pretty much getting there with the face. Throw some teeth in. Now you can put in whatever teeth you want. You can just put a line across. If you want some shiny teeth, just flick a couple of lines in each side. I always like the bouncy teeth. So I'm going to go, in fact, what I'll do is I'm going to go for some bouncy teeth, but I'm going to leave gaps in between so it looks a really weird looking character. Let's just put in some teeth, starting in the middle, working your way around like that, putting in some teeth. Got a fly kind of hanging around, that's really annoying. Putting some teeth right. Now, one of the things I've just done here, I think you can see this as well, just there, look. You see where I've done that tooth and the lines just come out a little bit too far. That kind of thing bothers me a little bit. So what I like to do, this is why I do double lining, this is why I do wonky lines, because wonky lines will hide all of that kind of stuff. So where that line's just come out a little bit too much, what I can just do is just turn it into a wonky line, make it a little bit fatter just there, makes that mistake disappear under a wonky line. Let's colour the back of the mouth in black. Does anybody know if Beeves has minted out yet? Last time I looked, there wasn't many left. I did manage to get one as well. 70 left now, is it? Wow. That's awesome. A couple of little floaters before we move on. In fact, and a little nose as well. This is the most complicated nose you'll do all day. Let's put a little curve in there for the nose, and maybe a couple of little floaters under each eye. Little floaters. I call them floaters because they don't actually touch any other lines. Technically double-ended flick-offs as well, so you want to flick off either side. And that's all we're going to do with the fat pen on that. We're going to move down a level now. So who says, we'll say that we put in some lettuce next. Let's go for a bit of lettuce. Really easy with this bit of lettuce. We're just going to do a bouncy line. Now, every single bounce that you do needs to be a different size to the previous one. So you want to go, but just don't do a pattern like big, small, big, small, big, small. You want to go like big, medium, big, small. Do you know what I mean? Just kind of change it as much as possible. The other thing is we're going to start here, finish here, have it pointing out all the way around. So like this. Until you get all the way around. Yeah, thank you, Super Movian. I don't know, video error, you might not be able to hear us either, so thanks Wisdom for picking that up in the chat. Double line that as well. We've got some lettuce in there, so just double line it. Lettuce is probably the easiest filling to put in, but double line it. We want everything to be wonky. The only consistent thing about your line work should be how inconsistent it is. And what I find as well is that when you're doing these double lines and you're doing these wonky lines and you're focusing on fast drawing and making all your lines wonky, what actually happens is you start getting quicker with your pen work, and that's what helps you get smoother with your pen work as well. So even though we're doing these wonky lines, you will end up getting smoother with it as well. So that was nice and easy. Let's what should we put in next? Should we put the burger in next, or should we put the cheese? Let's put the cheese on top of the burger. So let's put the cheese in next, shall we? So with this cheese, we're going to do like a square of cheese, and then maybe just stick a few little holes in it as well. So the way we do this square of cheese is you want to start off quite wide out here, and we're going to do a V shape. We're going to do a V shape all the way across. Now you don't want to come too far down. It's going to be quite like a stretched out V shape. And as we go up this side for the V shape, we're going to leave a little gap. Okay, so watch this. So from here, coming out to there, into the middle. As you go over to this side, leave a gap like that. So it's a definite V shape. Pencil it out if you need to pencil it out to get it in the right place. But something like that will do quite nicely. That's the main part of our cheese. Okay, let's just bring home that top layer. That's the top part of the cheese. Let's just bring that home by joining this bit in. So this bit's going to go up that angle. You see that direction there? That direction there. This bit of cheese now needs to go up that direction there. So let's go up about there somewhere. This bit here, that bit of cheese needs to go up there using this direction here. So let's go and bring that up. Have we got that? Once we've got that, what we're going to do is this bit here, we're going to join those together with a little curve. So just bring that in with a little curve. I am double lining as I go along as well. There we go. That fly's really getting on my nerves now. Well, we've got that in. Right, next thing we're going to do, let's go and make that cheese a little bit more 3D. We're going to take some little tiny lines down this time. So let's have a little tiny line down there. Every time there's like a little corner, just put a little tiny line down. You don't want to go too far down, because if you go too far down, you're going to make this cheese look really thick. We want it to be quite thin in there. So just a little tiny line down. And then what we'll do is we'll join all of those bits together as well. So here we go. Let's just go up there. Double lining as you go along. We'll leave that little gap in there, because that's quite complicated. Leave that little gap and I'll show you what we do with that gap. So get that bit in first. And that little gap then. So that little hole, it's kind of like, is it Swiss cheese? It's kind of like Swiss cheese. So what we'll do is we're going to go in and we're going to take that curve that we've already got in just there, but we're just going to drop it down just a little bit. So what it will look like is this. See how it just tucks in behind? And then in amongst that cheese, let's just chuck in some other holes. Wigs, that's looking fantastic already. Yeah, just bring that little tiny lines down to make it look a little bit more 3D. We're good to go. Put in some little holes, look. So whack in a hole and then a little line across the back like that. Let's do a little one just there. And a little line across the back. And so we've got ourselves a nice little piece of cheese in there. What should we put in next? Let's go and put in, what do you want to go with? Let's go for the burger next. So the burger's a nice easy bit. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. 5 lines to draw this burger. What we'll do is going to start with, and it's all going to be U shapes. So we'll start with a nice big U shape on the middle here, and then we're just going to come out the side with some extra, like half a U's, if you know what I mean, to do the rest of it. So let's go for about here, look. Big double-ended flick off. That means you're flicking off, tapering at the ends. I'll get my hand out of the way. Tapering off the ends, but you're making the middle bit thick and wonky. So have a little go at that. And then what we're going to do is off the side of that, we're going to draw some more curves. Maybe 2 more. So we're going to have 2 this side, 2 this side. The last one is just going to tuck up underneath the cheese here, okay? So look, just like this. 1, 2. Just tucks up behind the cheese there. Do something similar. 1, 2. And that'll do for a burger. Double line it all, nice and wonky. Cool. And yeah, if you want to chuck your photos in the chat whilst we're going, feel free to do that. It's always good to see little updates. If anybody wants to come on camera, on stage, if you've got like a top-down setup, or you just want your wobbly head kind of looking confused and looking at the camera, then feel free to come up on stage as well. Yeah, how did Moods go as well? Did Moods sell out? I'm pretty sure they did. While I'm waiting for an answer on that, I'm sure everyone's busy drawing, but yeah, while I'm waiting for an answer on that, that's all we're going to do for the burger bit. We are going to move down a stage now. Next stage is tomato. Tomato's nice and easy. We haven't got a... Crime says yes, they minted out. Excellent stuff. That's good to know. Let's go and put this tomato slice in. Nice one, Jessica. Well done. Thank you. tomato. Let's go and put this tomato in. So with the tomato, what we're going to do is we're going to do like a curve that comes out of the burger. So from about here, out of the burger, and then going in that way. We might have a little tiny overlap with it as well. See if we can bring that in. So like this, like just bring a tomato in. A little slice like that, just a curve out. We're going to make that look 3D, the same way as we did the cheese. We made the cheese look 3D by making those little lines down. Let's do the same with the tomato. So right on the edge there, a little line down and a curve like that. Looks like a slice. I think it looks like a slice of tomato. Double line it. Let's go and quickly double line that. Nice and quick with your double lining, nice and wonky. And then do the same kind of thing over on the other side. Look, let's bring a line out like that, curve it in. I've done it again, look, flick the line a little bit too far. That's where you use your double lining, your wonky lines to just hide all that kind of stuff. One more time down here, and a curve across. Double line all of that as well. And it should look kind of like some tomatoes. Sliced tomatoes, that is. We are going to make it look a bit more sliced by putting the inside bit of the tomato in. Which is a bit I always hate drawing. It's a tricky little bit to draw, but this is the way I like to do it, okay? So we're just going to go around this edge. You see this edge that we've got here? We're going to go around that with like a dash line. Maybe put 3 dashes in. Something like this. 3 dashes in like that. That's going to be like the segments, cavities, whatever you want to call it, of where all the little tomato seeds, you know, the horrible bits of tomatoes, where they live. And then what we'll do is we'll take the end of those lines, just curl it around, aim it towards the center. Just a little flick. Just aim it towards the center. I mean, we know roughly where the center is. You don't have to get it spot on in there, but something like that will do. Let's do the same kind of thing here. Just 3 little lines down, then aim those towards the center. Nice and rough with your pen work. Pencil users assemble. One of the things I like about using marker pens is you do tend to make a few more mistakes along the way, but you do also get better a lot quicker, especially if like you're following one of these sessions where you don't get too much time to think about it. You just got to get on with it and do it. Even if your artwork looks rubbish halfway through, just plow on through. Some of the best things I've drawn have been straight after I've made a big mistake. Mainly because I've kind of given up and I've loosened up, so that the tension, the pressure's not there anymore. So don't ever worry about mistakes. There's always a way to cover over a mistake. The number one thing to being a good artist is not making mistakes. It's knowing how to deal with mistakes, and how to cover over those mistakes, in my opinion. Right, what are we up to next? What have we done? We've done... so if you want to do another layer of something in there, then go and put another burger in, something like that. Or if you're finished, let's go and whack in the base of our what do you call it? The bottom of the bun. Let's go and put the bottom of the bun in, and then we get the thin pen out and start having a bit of fun with the thin pen. So bottom of the bun, you see the width of the top of the bun. We're going to kind of take that. We're just going to bring that line down a little bit, and then go across like that. Double line it, nice and wonky. That'll do. We'll make it look like it's sitting on an actual table or on a plate or something by throwing in a little drop shadow. The little drop shadow is a capital C. It's a capital C that's fallen on its back, all squashed up like this, capital C. See how it's fallen on its back? Wow, that looks really wonky on there. Let's do it like that instead. Colour that bit in black. Now, when I do these drop shadows, the other thing I like to do on them, which I think looks really neat, is because at the moment that could just be a hole. It could just be sitting on a hole, and that's not really what we want. So one of the things we can do with it is just break up that shadow a little tiny bit. So the way I like to do that is just putting on some extra little ovals all around there. So because we're using a black pen on white paper, and there's not really a huge amount of opportunity because it's a Sharpie to do any like fades and stuff like that, the way we do fades is just by adding in these smaller sections. So it should just break up that shadow a little bit, in theory. Okay, that's it with the fat pen for the time being. We'll come back to that fat pen just to finish off. But we're just going to quickly whip over with our thin pen. Hopefully you've got a thin pen. If not, you're going to have to use a fat pen with a light touch for these next bits. We're going to start at the top. We're going to work our way down with these extra little details. And it's these extra little details. These are the bits that I think are the most fun when it comes to doing our drawing. So what we'll do is let's get in the top and let's go and throw in a load of sesame seeds across the top of our drawing. Straight away, 0.1 is way too thin. I'm going to upgrade to a point something else. See what a 5 looks like. It's a little bit too thin for me, that pen. So I'm going to go a little bit fatter and just throw in like little sesame seed shapes all the way across here. Look. Don't think about it too much. Just throw them in. Have some coming off the top. Have a few rogue ones down the bottom here as well. Look. Put in as many as you want. Now clump them together. That's always my top technique, is put like 2 together like that. It looks a lot more natural if you do that. If you just go for the gap each time, you end up getting like a real pattern to it and it looks very unnatural. Maybe that's what you like, that's fine. But I prefer that kind of like unnatural kind of scattering of sesame seeds. Okay, once you've done the sesame seeds, let's get into let's go and put a little shadow across the side here. The way I've been drawing shadows today is just little lines like this. There's a little line all the way across there just to create a little bit of a shadow in there. So go and throw that bit in. Then what we'll do is we're going to get into the eyes. Now I want to make those eyes, these bits that we put on the edge of the eyes, I want to make them look a bit more like they are going in a different direction, like they're holes drilled into the head. Danya, yeah, you're a bit late, mate. Danya, I like to do this lesson so they last half an hour. So to join in, like, we've got 5 minutes left. You might be able to catch up. I don't know, mate. But don't worry, Danya, there'll be a replay video out tomorrow. If you look at Wiggs' picture, so Wiggs put a little photo in the chat, and you can see right at the top some little tiny lines on the inside of the eyes. That's exactly what we're going to do next. So just in here, look. And you want these lines are all going to be in the same direction as the hole is drilled into the socket, into the bun, if you know what I mean. I don't know if any of that made sense, but you know what I mean. Just kind of bring those lines in. And the other thing that Wiggs has done as well, which is really, really nice, and I don't know whether you're going to keep it like that, Wiggs has just done a couple of 3 lines at the top, and then you don't need at the bottom. You haven't done any at the bottom. But just keeping it subtle like that. I kind of like putting lines all the way across. But you do what works for you. But we'll put those in first. Maybe we want to put in a few little hairs as well. I like putting a little mustache. Have some fun with it. Just because it's a burger doesn't mean it can't be a hairy burger. We've got these eyeballs as well. Did you want to put some pupils on them? We can have it looking. That's something. I'm going to have it looking. Let's have it looking over here. Going to have it looking over there, because then what I can do is I can put something over there that it is looking at. Let's get into the cheese. The cheese is a nice easy bit. All we're going to do is put some shade. All of those bits that are kind of going like facing us, if you know what I mean. So this bit, the top bit of the cheese is facing up. That's great. This bit of the cheese is facing us. So let's just quickly whack some lines in. Any of you out there that prefer to use a bit of colour, this is where you just put a darker colour in on this bit. But if we're only using black and white, which is one of my favourite things, just being able to use black pens on white paper, and that's all you need to be able to draw. You don't need to spend, $200 on all the latest art equipment. You can just do it with any old pen and any old scrap sheet of paper. In fact, if you do it with scrap sheets of paper, what I find is it's less intimidating. You know, if you've spent like a lot of money on a sketchbook, then you don't necessarily want to get in that sketchbook and ruin it. Whereas if it's a scrap sheet of paper and you're like, I could just chuck this away and nobody's going to lose out, that's a lot more kind of, you know, it loosens your inhibitions a little bit. So yeah, don't forget the holes in the cheese holes as well to shade those bits out. And then let's get into the burger. Two things we're going to do with the burger. One is we're going to add like the gristle in there with some little circles. Some of the circles are going to be just circles. Some of the circles are going to be coloured in as well. The other thing we're going to do is add some drips. The drips are just going to be big old U-shapes. Maybe the bottom of the U-shape, just thicken that out a bit so it's got a bit of a shadow, so it looks like it's popping out a little bit more, okay? So let's go and do that. Let's go and put some little circles in. Keep it random, look. Don't think about it too much. Just chuck them in. So we've got some normal circles in there. Let's go with some little spots. And again, the only thing you want to be thinking about is clumping them together. Clump everything together as much as possible. We're on the home straight now. Let's go and throw some drips in. Like I say, make the bottom of those drips a little bit fatter if you can. Can even have drips coming off the side there like that. Throw in some drips, get into the tomatoes next. In the tomatoes, we want to leave the edge. I don't want to shade out the edge like we did with the cheese. We just want to put in a bit of a shade there. So just put a few little lines in there. Close together on the edge, then bring them further and further apart. Getting into where those cavities are, those sections are. Let's go and put in some little seeds in there. Don't think about it too much. Just go and throw them in. Makes it look a bit more like a tomato, hopefully. Last little bit. We're on the home straight, so yeah, just start having a bit of fun with your character as well. Think about the kind of stuff you want to put on the outside. Think about any other bits of texture you want to put on the inside as well. In fact, we are going to put a little tiny bit on the lettuce, which I totally forgot about. Just went straight onto the cheese. Let's go and do this bun bit at the bottom though first. Because there's a shadow there, let's go and put these little lines. This is a nice way of putting shadows in. Takes a bit of time, but it looks really nice. Just little diagonal lines. But then take those diagonal lines up there as well. Just creates like a little bit of a shadow. Obviously this is a bun, so it's going to have some little kind of air pockets. So put a few little spots in there. Maybe even put a little rogue sesame seed or two down there. Anybody wants the next level, their sesame seeds, put little drop shadows on those sesame seeds. Look. Make it look like they're really popping out. In fact, I've got to do them all now. That's a big shadow. Bigger the shadow. Bigger the shadow, the more it looks like it's sticking out. All right, we're just quickly going to do this lettuce. We're just going to put in a few bubble writing exclamation marks in these big leaves. Bubble writing exclamation mark. It's just going to look like it's a reflection. Like it's a little bit wet. Biggie, that's looking awesome. It's a bit top heavy, mate. But that looks all right. Maybe we should have chucked in a couple of pencil lines just to keep us on the straight and narrow. But that's the Leaning Tower of Burger. I love it. Yeah, the only thing I would do is if you've only got a fat pen, just go and put a little bit of gristle in that burger and maybe add in a few little drips, a few little dots in the bun down at the bottom as well. And then that'll look brilliant. Right, we are at the home straight. We're going to finish off now, so last few seconds. Do me a favour, just go and put your artwork into the chat. It's always good to see what you've been drawing. It's always good to have a bit of a giggle at everybody's drawing. It's just a bit of fun. Nothing to get too precious about. So if you can, and if you're happy to, go and stick a photo in the chat and we'll have a little look at it. If not, go into the Share Your Art channel as well. You can always go and stick your artwork in there. I'm just going to carry on finishing off some extra weird bits on mine. So for example, like the little upwards drips. I love an upward drip nowadays. I think it just makes stuff look creepy. So whose have we had so far? I've seen half of Wigs, and I've seen all of Biggie's. Definitely having a little fly over here. Let's put some flies in. As I've got loads of flies hanging. Well, I've not got loads of flies. I've got one fly hanging around the studio. Load of flies in there. I think we are just about done. Just going to chuck in some thicker lines down here for some drop shadows. And yeah, we're wrapping up. Right, anybody else in the chat with their pictures? Now's the time to put your pictures in. Don't forget, sign it. If you like what you've done, sign it. If you don't like what you've done, put somebody else's name on it. Silenthax, that looks fantastic. Excellent stuff. Now, you're drawing digitally. I don't know whether you're using an app that uses layers, but if you're using an app like Fresco or Procreate that uses layers, you can draw every single part of this burger on a different layer. And then you can just kind of copy and paste and repeat it and just make this. I wanted to draw a burger that was like really, really high with loads of different fillings. So that's the kind of stuff you can do when you're working with that. Also, yeah, your line work across the top on the bun, absolutely spot on. Try and have that consistency or that inconsistency of line work all the way through your burger as well, around the burger, around the cheese, that kind of thing. That'll look excellent. Wisdom, mate. What I'm really getting worried about is that the Corp Dogs team, right? You know, my part of being the Corp Dogs team was the artwork, was being able to draw. Wisdom's was like all the kind of like community management, looking after people and things like that. A bit more of the technical stuff as well. The problem is now, like Wisdom, like Joff, is getting quite good at drawing, and so I do feel like I'm a little bit under pressure here to step it up a little bit. But yeah, chef's kiss, Wisdom. That's fantastic. There you go. Quick sign of my artwork. And that is my done piece. Yeah, well done, Wisdom. Mate, I'm really impressed. Even though that slice of cheese is massive, it looks awesome. There we go. There is our burger. No worries, mate. Anybody else want to share their artwork? We never got quite to 40 people in the room, so no giveaway this week. But Joff will be back. Joff will be back next week, and we'll be a bit more on the ball with a little giveaway for you as well. Right, last few seconds. Let's see what else people have got before we wrap up. Any more in there? Just wait for Silenthax, see what Silenthax is saying. And yeah, this session is always meant to be just a half an hour session, so nice and quick. I know we've overran a little bit here, but we've just about got there. No worries, Silenthax. So one thing, just for everybody who wants to do a bit more drawing, I did put a little note in the Discord, but on Saturday, this Saturday at 11 a.m. GMT, so that's UK time, I will be doing a live 15-minute drawing challenge, doodle challenge, on my YouTube channel though. So head over to my YouTube channel. If you look at in the general feed in the Corp Dogs Discord, you'll find the link for the YouTube video or for the announcement for that. Just tap the notifications. Join me if you can. It's 15 minutes of me drawing really fast, step by step, like this, showing you how to draw something. Challenge being, can you keep up or can you do even better? So yeah, that's on this Saturday if you're up for another drawing lesson. Meowie, that looks amazing. I love the eyelashes that you've put on there as well. Those eyes just look like lazy eyes because they're so curved in. They look fantastic. Excellent. We've got everything in there really nicely. It looks like you've only just used the one fat pen as well, which is quite a difficult technique to get just right. Awesome stuff. Right, nice one. Thank you very much for taking part, everybody. It'd be lovely to see you in the Share Your Art channel on the Discord. So yeah, if you've not had a chance to finish off and you still want to share your art, just go and post your artwork in there. It'll be great to see it. If I don't see you on Saturday, I'll see you next week for another Doodle on Discord. But yeah, thanks a lot for taking part. I'll see you all soon. Take care, everyone.